The neck pain is not going to go away by itself. It's only going to get worse. You're gonna lose sleep over it. You're gonna lose money over it. You are gonna lose time with your family over it, because the longer we wait to address problems, the more serious they become. So this is gonna be a very simple video. I'm gonna show you how to fix your posture. And if you have neck pain, mid-back pain, or headaches, this is going to help you out tremendously. And at the end of the video, I'm going to give you my #1 tip to fix your posture once and for all. And that's a tip that no one else is going to tell you, okay? So I want you to imagine this. You're sitting in an upright position. Your spine is completely straight like an ideal T-frame. And then something happens where you start rounding forward. Now what happens when you do this? The pressure inside of your discs starts to increase dramatically. And if you are someone who has had a bulging disc or a herniated disc or a slipped disc, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This right here is the worst thing that you can possibly do if you have a disc issue in your lower back or your neck or your mid-back. When we round forward like this, the discs are being compressed. Now, why does this happen? Because we have these joints in our spine called facet joints. They're located here in the back part of your spine. And so when you look at these joints right here, you can see there's a little ball that fits into a little socket. And then we also have these little ligaments that keep everything in place. But what happens is when we start to bend forward like this, these ligaments can get damaged. So if we start to overstretch these ligaments, guess what happens? We get instability in our spine, and when we have instability in our spine, especially in the lower back, guess what can happen? A slipped disc. Now let's take a look at the opposite position. So now we've come all the way up to an upright position. This is a neutral curve. So now you can see when we have a neutral curve, the facets are in a very good position. They're not being stressed out. These ligaments are not being stressed out. And the discs are also in a really good position because the pressure inside of them is normal. It's not excessive. Now we need to understand something. The reason why most people develop poor posture is not because they have weak muscles. In fact, they have the exact opposite problem. They have tight muscles. If you were to ask me what is the #1 posture problem that we have in society today, it is tight rectus abdominis, okay? That's one of the abdominal muscles that creates a six-pack when you see someone flexing their abdominals, and so the reason why this muscle becomes so tight is because it never gets relaxed. You see, when we're sitting in a seated position, the rectus abdominis is constantly being contracted because the body thinks it needs to support your spine. But the problem is it doesn't know how to relax, so it stays in this constant state of tension. And when you combine this with the fact that we're also sitting in a seated position, which is already putting a lot of strain on your discs, you're gonna have a lot of people who start developing disc degeneration. And so the solution for this problem, since we're already addressing posture, we need to fix the abdominal muscles, especially the rectus abdominis. So I'm going to teach you a very powerful exercise for that. But before we get into that, I just want to make a point that if you are getting value out of this video so far, please hit the like button. And if you've never subscribed to this channel, please do so. I put out new videos every single week. Okay, so this right here is the rectus abdominis. There is several other abdominal muscles, but this is the main one that we are going to focus on, and the way that we are going to stretch it out is by laying on our back and bringing our legs up like this, and our shoulders too. So now we're in a position where our spine is completely flat, and so now what we want to do is bring our knees towards our chest. The mistake that most people will make during this exercise is they will pull on their knees. Instead of doing that, you want to pull with your abdominals. So what you want to do is contract your abdominals and bring your knees towards your chest. The further you bring your knees towards your chest, the more tension you're going to feel in your stomach, and that is exactly what you want. So I am gonna do this for about 5 seconds, and I am going to repeat that 3 times. Alright. So after we do this exercise, we are going to move on to another one, and that is the transverse abdominis. Now this is a deep abdominal muscle that runs all around your core, and the way that we are going to stretch this muscle out is by laying on our side. So I am going to lay down on my left side, and so you can see that my right leg is slightly elevated. The reason why it's elevated is because I have a wedge pillow underneath my hip. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend my top leg, which is my left leg, and I am going to put it across my body like this, and I am going to use my abdominals to pull myself closer to the ground. Now if you don't have a wedge pillow, you can use a rolled up towel or even a regular pillow, Just put it underneath your hip and then you'll be able to lay on your side and use your abdominals to pull yourself closer to the ground. And the reason why we're doing this is because we're stretching out the transverse abdominis. So you can see when I do this, I am feeling a stretch on my side, and if I hold this for 5 seconds and I repeat that 3 times, you're going to stretch out the entire core. Okay, so we just went through 2 exercises that stretched out the abdominal muscles. Now we need to move on to the upper back because a lot of people who have neck issues or mid-back issues, they also have tight rhomboids and tight traps. So I'm going to show you 2 exercises that will help stretch those muscles out. Now if you have neck pain, one of the best things that you can do is lay on your stomach and lift your head off the ground. And the reason why this is helpful is because you are stretching out the front of your neck. And you are also stretching out the upper traps and the rhomboids in your upper back. So as you can see, I am holding my head up off the ground and I am also squeezing my abdominals to make sure that my spine is completely stable. So you can do this for 5 to 10 seconds depending on how tight your traps and your rhomboids are. And you're going to repeat that 3 times. Okay, so the last exercise I am going to show you is going to help stretch out the rhomboids and the traps. So what you want to do is grab onto a door frame like this and walk backwards until you feel a nice stretch in your upper back. Now you can stay here for a few seconds and you can do this 3 times, or what you can do is you can rock back and forth slowly and do 5 to 10 repetitions. Either way, you're going to feel a nice stretch in your upper back. So those 4 exercises should definitely help you out if you have neck pain or mid-back pain. And if you're looking for a quick fix to your posture problem, here is my number 1 tip. Are you ready? Here it is. Get an upright desk. Seriously, if you work at a job where you're sitting in a seated position all day long, get an upright desk. If you can't afford an upright desk, at least get an adjustable desk so you can alternate between a seated position and a standing position throughout the day. And if you're at school, I know a lot of students who have postural problems. You can sit at your desk like this, but you can also sit at your desk like this. And this is a great position because it stretches out the abdominal muscles. And if you have a teacher who's always talking about posture, you can always blame it on me. And I guarantee you, your teacher is going to think you're absolutely brilliant. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. I put out new videos every single week. Alright, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye bye.